In a world of finite resources, we make the best decisions we can to help as many people as possible and get the most leverage as possible. And someone pointed this out to me in a sales call that their child had failed GCSE maths and then been sent off to college, and there was no real support for them anymore. And this happens all the time in classes as well, where essentially survival of the fittest. The people who are doing well will keep up and those that aren't are left behind. And it's because there is a certain amount of work to cover and they don't have time to go at the slowest person's pace, because if you do that, everyone fails. And so it's the lesser of two evils, essentially. And I just wanted to share a really good story, which will be coming up in a second, and a not so fun one, to kind of demonstrate the effect that it has when you don't do this as a society or as a business. Specifically, again, like we said at the start, a business with finite resources. Now, if you had infinite resources, then yeah, sure, help everybody, because like, why not? But the difficulty is when you don't have unlimited money or time or effort, right? So just ran all the numbers of the hiring round we did in April 2025 for 10 new sales guys and girls for our tutoring company. And we went swinging big for this. It was our third attempt or our third round hiring a sales team. We thought we'd ironed out all the cracks. This is the one, let's swing big. And not including the 3 months of work that went into it from me and Millie, and the 5 months of pay we have forfeited to be able to do this, and the profits before and after that have been lost. In total, the failure on that test, just added it up, when you account for their wages, the ad costs to allow them to do their job, the additional pay for the tutors we hired so that they could do their job, to have people to sell into, and the sessions that were given away for free to people they were selling to, where they didn't do a great job and then didn't stay, all in all, totals just over £100,000. Again, not including my time, Millie's time of 3 full months of work, plus the payments we never got made, right? The pay we never received because of the effort we were putting into them. And a specific example of that is one of the SDRs in that group, an amazing guy, in training, put in the most effort and made the most changes, really was the most improved, but it just didn't reflect in his numbers. I think in his first week he closed 2 sales, and I think it was April, May, June, July, 4 months later, still only closing 2 calls a week. And we knew we break even to about 5. That causes cash flow problems as it is. 8 is what we really needed them to do for them to do their job and to be viable to keep. But this guy was putting in so much effort, and a few of them, there's about 3 of them in this category that put in the effort and just weren't getting a result. And so we focused on the lowest achievers to give it to them because they deserved it for the efforts they put in. And there were a few people who were achieving well very quickly. And so they were kind of left to their own devices. And it's very easy to say, do you know what, we'll focus on the winners, because when you double down on winners, that's when you really win. And that makes sense if you're placing bets, right? But at the end of the day, you're dealing with people, and it's not a nice feeling when someone's trying and not able to do it for you to go, I'm sorry, you're not fit enough, you're the survival of the fittest and you haven't passed, like, you've got to go. Which is eventually what ended up happening. And in doing that, we also sacrificed the people that could have been great, because we didn't give them the support that would have turned them from good to really good. And that would have been a compounding effect because they would have earned more money, they would have enjoyed it more, the team would have gotten smaller, but we would have got more profitable as a company, and we could have paid them and rewarded them for the efforts, as well as us finding it rewarding because the effort we're putting in actually made a change. So there you go, that's just an interesting point of view that you've probably never thought about, because I know that I certainly hadn't, because the world's unfair, right? Why do the people at the bottom get left behind? And that's a reason why, because if you don't, everyone loses, as well as the people who could have achieved something, unfortunately. Because we're a bootstrapped business, we don't have investors, you know, we gave up a lot to help these people, and in the end, they're not happy about it, and everyone's upset, whereas we could have at least had a couple happy people and a profitable business, which would have given us more money to give away more sessions, to give more people more opportunity to try. And that gets me onto the fun story. So around the end of the trial, where we were closing down those 10 new employees, we tested out a new hire, a sales, a commission only role. And what I've noticed is that with this specific individual, they've put in the work when we haven't been looking. I haven't been able to support in the role that every other SDR of the 24 other employees that we've had in that same role, he's got none of the support, and he's succeeding anyway. And he's going out of his way to improve with the resources we're giving him and saying, in your own time, you've got to do this because that's the only way you're going to earn more money. Because he actually had the drive to do that. And so today, he's not where we want him to be, but he's actually making improvements week by week. And his stats are great in terms of just closing. He's the second employee we've ever had that's not me or Millie to get over a 50% close rate. He's bang on 50%. But he's also not causing us problems in any other part of his job, which is really helpful, whereas the other guy did. And so he had to eventually go. The difficulty that this guy has got now, and why he's not making a ton of money straight away as himself, is he's got one lacking skill, which is appointment setting. His appointment setting percentage, or percentage of leads that get booked onto a call, is 20%, whereas mine, Millie's, are 50%. So just by changing that, which is what we're going to help him to do, he'll be up to 2.5 times his earnings, which I'm stoked for, because he's just about matching his last job. And this will be really what opens up that next level of success for him. And for that, we're not in a fantastic situation right now financially, but I sent him a £500 bonus today to say thank you, and to say that I know we're not able to support you in the way that we have with everybody else, because we're also having to do your job alongside you and run the business, which doesn't leave much free time. And we don't have the resources for me to get someone else to do that to help him. And so it's a token of our gratitude for the effort that he's putting in for when people aren't looking. And I think that's where people are tested. That's where their personalities or their mettle is measured. And I just say as a huge thank you and an apology that we're not there, but he's still turning up doing great stuff, that we appreciate him, and that's the type of person that this business is gonna attract and thrive and grow with. And we are gonna get to the point where he's gonna lead his own sales team. That's the goal. Whilst we fix the business and do other bits, like if you've seen any of my other videos, we're currently purposefully getting into a supply constraint so that we can ethically boost prices to drastically increase profit margins, give us more money to be able to invest in all these other things. But yeah, that's the story I wanted to share. And he was out having ice cream with his family. I sent him a message out of work hours, completely unprofessionally, just to say, hey, I just want to have a chat if you're around. He's like, oh, I'm out right now. And I'm like, no worries, man. Check your email, celebrate with your family. And he immediately left the restaurant, ran to his car, called me up and was like, thank you so much. You didn't have to do that, but I want to. And that's the team I want to build, and that's the ethos I want to work around. And so, yeah, financially, it's not a great choice for us. But being surrounded by those sorts of people is what we do this for, as well as being able to help people and eventually make money. But there you go. A really nice, wholesome story that I've now got that I want to remember and note down and look back on in the future. And he's also hit his week's target this week, which was a 25% increase in sales from last week, which he also hit. So he's doing well. And I'm excited to share that with you and to say that the winners will be rewarded in a situation where resources are finite. And if you're not good enough, I'm sorry, you have to be cut. Otherwise, everyone dies. It's like if you have a septic leg, do you chop off the leg or do you let the whole body die? I don't know. But at least this way, something can thrive, right? Those are my thoughts for the day. Have a great one. Peace.